West Wednesday number 468. We are calling for justice for all victims of police violence. Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Can you guys hear me?
Mic check.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Tawanda has just rejoined. Tawanda, can you hear us? Mic check.
Mic check. Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and
Yes.
clear.
Awesome. So
Taylor is
sorry.
reporting that the audio is fixed on Facebook.
Awesome. Glad it's fixed. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys, and thank you guys for tuning in. And just like my brother Ben said, we're calling for justice for all the victims of police brutality and murder. And as I was stating previously, Monday marks 9 years of my brother's brutal execution. So leading up to has been really hard. Leading up to Monday, it's been real hard for not just me, but for my whole entire family, from his poor babies that are left fatherless, to his grandchildren that he never got a chance to meet. It's just a heartbreaking time right now. And I'm never going to stop fighting for my big brother. My big brother's keeper forever, past life. Not just life, but past life. Just like my little cousin said, you killed the wrong man, but you truly got the right family. You got the right sister that's going to fight you to the end. And the sad part is, it didn't start at my brother, and unfortunately, it doesn't stop at my brother. And I was given a big heavenly birthday wish to Fred Cox, who was actually executed. And I'm sending his mother, Tanika, a bunch of love and everything, because that was the only child. He would have been 20 years old. That young man is supposed to be here. He's not supposed to be resting. How can any of our loved ones rest? How can
It looks like Tawanda has dropped off again. Looks like her connection is not great right now. Stand by. She'll rejoin. For context, everybody, Tawanda is coming back from a police accountability meeting for Johns Hopkins, and so she's not at home with a Wi-Fi connection like she usually is, and so her connection might not be as stable tonight as it usually is. Hence, some of the technical difficulties. I know that she is probably rushing home as quickly as she can at the moment, and she'll rejoin us as soon as she has a better connection. But driving through the streets of Baltimore, not always the best connection. You know how it is.
Kia, while we're waiting for Tawanda to get back, would you like to speak?
Hi, everyone. My
It's good
name
to
is
see you,
Kia
Kia.
Shaw. My brother's name was Benjamin Tyson. Name is Benjamin Tyson. He was shot and killed February the 25th, 2021 at 55 Marketplace, downtown Inner Harbor. It took them 441 days to come back with the determination that they were not going to convict the three officers that shot my brother. They showed us the videotape. We seen it. We had a lot. It was a lot of discrepancies. We didn't agree with a lot of things. So, I asked a lot of questions. We still haven't received the videotape to see from the CBS, which the state's attorney said he couldn't obtain, which I find that very hard to not be able to obtain, because that's supposed to be the primary reason why my brother was shot. So I'm trying to figure out why they can't get the videotape from the CBS. That's the way I'm at with it right now. And I do have an attorney, thanks to my sister Tawanda, because Her and Nicole worked tirelessly to try to get me some help, and I finally received the help.
And Nicole, would you like to say a few words while we're waiting for Tawanda to get back?
Hi, everybody. Oh, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm in so much pain. I'm Nicole Pettiford. I'm the daughter-in-law of Anthony Anderson and the mother of Isaiah Raw, who was murdered approximately 2 weeks apart. My father-in-law was murdered September the 21st, 2012, and my daughter Ajay Harab was murdered October the 7th, 2012. So it's been really, really hard for me to deal with the death of two loved ones, one that I'm fighting for that I've never met ever, but I'm still going to keep his name alive as long as I can. And I'm definitely going to keep my daughter's name alive because she was only 16 years old and she witnessed the murder, and they basically, stamped her death date right there because they took my child to the Baltimore City Police Department and they questioned her without a parent, an attorney, or any kind of guardian that was over the age of 18. So they rendered my daughter as a snitch. And what do you do with a snitch? You get rid of it. So she was shot and killed on Fair Lawn in Baltimore City. Well, I guess that's the city, or it might be the county, because I don't know where Reisterstown is. I'm not really that familiar with Baltimore getting around. But I said all that to say that I'm grateful that I met Tawanda because she has been a great help with getting through this with the West Wednesday and everything. And I'm proud to be a member of the West Wednesday Coalition. And I also want to give a shout out to my papa for him being here and guiding me through the technical stuff that I don't know how to do. And also for my sister, Kia Shaw. Unfortunately, she was put into this family unwillingly, but we welcome her in this family with open arms and to let her know that we are here for her and that we'll always have an ear and a shoulder for her as long as she needs us. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
You guys, one more thing. If I leave, it's no disrespect to anybody, but I am in agony because I sprained my wrist real bad. So I'm going to stay here as long as I can. But if I do leave, I love you all and thank you all for the opportunity to tell my story.
I hope the wrist feels better soon. Tawanda was
Frank.
speaking.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. Before
Hey,
Tawanda.
guys, can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome back,
Yes.
Tawanda.
I don't know why they got it targeted. I should know that they was gonna have me targeted tonight because it keep cutting off. It'll let me do 2 minutes and then it cuts off, and it's really pissing me off. It really is, but I mean, it is what it is. But thank you, my queens, for sharing. Y'all know I love y'all. My heart goes out because y'all loved ones. Kia brother Benjamin's supposed to be here, as well as my sister Nicole daughter and her father-in-law. Like, this is just some sad times we're in right now. So, and Uncle Bill, I'm sorry that I cut you off. What were you saying?
I was just going to try and fill in until you got back announcing the memorial on Monday.
Okay, you can keep on announcing that. That's fine.
Oh, okay. Well, this Monday on July the 18th, Tyrone West would have been 53 years old. And it's painful for the family, but at the site where the police took his life, there will be a memorial rally. Is it at 7 or 7:30, Tawanda? We'll find out before the program's over, but it's either at 7 or 7:30, and everyone that can come out to contribute to the fight, to get the accountability that we need for Tyrone and for the other victims of police brutality. It'd be wonderful to have you there. We're going to have candles and and to honor Tyrone in particular on the memorial of his life having been snatched away by vicious police. So that's Monday coming up.
Yeah, it's gonna be at 7 o'clock. 7. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
start off at 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. On Kentmore and Kelsway. I'm gonna put the flyer on my page. I'm gonna share it as my Facebook cover and everything shortly as we get off, so that way you guys can have the information.
All right,
Okay.
back to you, Tawana.
My queen, are you there?
It looks like Tawanda has dropped off again.
Well, I think Tawana wanted to go just till 8 tonight to have a short West Wednesday because we had the earlier event. So maybe we should go to Brian now if you're here to honor those whose lives were taken by community violence in the recent weeks.
I can do that if everybody thinks that would be a good way to approach this. Well, before we start on that, I do want to mention one thing that I will be working together with Bill in not this week, but next week. We're going to be doing after West Wednesday. We're going to be doing a challenge discussion group, which is a group where we try and discuss various radical politics and philosophies and such as that. And we're going to be focusing on an action that was taken by the PLP, the Progressive Labor Party, down in Tupelo, Mississippi, during the Civil Rights era. And we're going to have a person who actually participated in that come and speak. Is going to be online with us to speak about that. So that's going to be a Zoom thing after West Wednesday next week, I believe. And we will, we'll get some information out about that, and I think it would really, be worth anybody watching. So with that, if anybody else has an announcement to make or anything, I'm going to ask that you do that now, and then we'll have a moment of silence, as Tawanda always does, and we'll move on to naming the victims of the empire that have died in the past week. So does anybody have anything outside this to bring in? Going once? Okay.
I'll just say the program you mentioned is in 2 weeks, not 1 week.
2 weeks?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do want to attend. I do
Anyway.
want to attend.
Okay, well, we will get that information out to everybody. We'll get that information out next week, so it'll be a whole week to plan for it.
Hey guys, I'm back. Thank you so much. And again, I don't know why. Like I said, I knew I was gonna be the target, so that's why I make sure if you guys are out there on Monday, somebody's live streaming. Cause they let me know already. I'm not gonna be anything with my phone. I done went from this to my other iPad. It's everything keep cutting off, and I know it's not the connection in my house.
Okay, Tawanda, if you want to call the moment of silence, I think we can go ahead and read the list of names, unless you have something else you want to say first.
Tawanda has dropped off yet again, so why don't you go ahead and lead us in that moment of silence, Brian?
Sure. We're just going to have a moment of silence for, like I said, the victims of the empire this week, and then I will read off the names of the victims here in Baltimore, and Bill will read off the victims of police violence victims across the nation. So I just ask you to take a moment of silence, please. So this week in Baltimore, we have 7 victims, and I'll just ask you to echo their names back to me as I call them out. Leroy Jeter III.
Leroy
Jeter.
Timothy Reynolds.
Timothy
Reynolds.
Terry Lewis.
Terry
Lewis.
Michelle Lindsay,
Michelle
Michelle
Lindsay,
Lindsay.
Dijon Durham,
Dijon
Dijon
Durham.
Durham,
Taya Adshola Atugo.
Kaya Atoa
Anjola Atua.
Atuba.
Thank you.
So it falls to me to share the list of stolen lives, people whose lives were destroyed, that is taken away by police. And for tonight, it covers slightly less than 2 weeks, from June 29th to July the 11th. And we have 33 people who were killed by the police, and another person who we mentioned last time, but we didn't know the name yet. So counting that person, we have 34. I think after I'm done, Nicole, would you like to say your part? Cell blocks for Killer Cops Ashe.
Yes.
All right, you feeling well enough to do it?
And I
Yes.
can help her too if my phone
Okay,
don't come on.
All right, very good. Thank you.
Mhm.
First person killed by police who we mentioned last week, but not by name, was on June 29th. It was in Saranac Lake, New York. His name was Joshua Kavota.
Joshua
Volta.
Joshua
Also on the
Kavota.
Thank you. And, oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. We only do that if someone's name is not known. Next person, also on the 29th of June in Irving, Texas, 34 years old, Michael McPhail.
Michael
Michael
In
McPhail.
Safety Harbor. Thank you. In Safety Harbor, Florida, again on the June the 29th, 43 years old, killed by police, Robert Hubbard.
Robert Hubbard.
Hubbard.
On the 29th again, in El Paso, Texas, 29 years old, Luis Garcia.
Luis
Garcia.
Once more on the 29th in Fort Worth, Texas,
Luis
31
Garcia.
years old, Alejandro Molina.
Alejandro Maria.
Alejandro Molina.
Once more on the 29th in Pueblo, Colorado, 66 years old, Mark Sales.
Mark
Mark
Sales.
Sales.
Moving to the next
Mark
day, June
Sales.
30th, in Springfield, Virginia, 37 years old, Christian Parker.
Christian Parker.
Christian Parker.
In Fayetteville, North Carolina, 22 years old, a woman, Jada Johnson.
Jada Johnson.
Jada Johnson.
On July the 2nd in Los Angeles, California, 30 years old, Jesus Torres.
Jesus.
Jesus Torres.
In Sacramento, California, on July the 2nd, 75 years old, Michael Moore.
Michael Moore.
In
Michael
Denver,
Moore.
Colorado, thank you. In Denver, Colorado, on July the 2nd, an unidentified man. And we go to you, Nicole.
Killer Cops for Cell Blocks Ashe.
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 Next on July 3rd in Chaparral, New Mexico, 63 years old, Brian Humble.
Brian
Humble.
Humble.
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota, July 3rd, 57 years old, Glenn Nasich.
Glenn Descent.
Glenn DeSitch.
July 3rd again, Warner Robins, Georgia, 44 years old, James Parks.
James
Parks.
James
July the
Park.
Go ahead. July the 4th in Las Vegas, Nevada, 46 years old, Miguel Galarzo.
Miguel
Galarzo.
Galarzo.
Miguel Galarzo.
July the 4th in Wilmington, California. This man has not yet been identified.
Cell Blocks for Killer Cops Ashe.
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 In Port Neches, Texas, July the 5th, 21 years old, Trayvon Hull.
Trayvon.
Hull.
Glendale, Arizona, July the 5th, 15
Trayvon
years old.
Hull.
Thank you. 15 years old, Juan. I'm not sure how to pronounce Juan's last name. I think it's Boyorquez.
Von Buddy.
July the 5th, in Los Angeles, California, 31 years old, Reginald Humphrey.
Reginald Humphrey.
Reginald
In
Humphrey.
Toccoa, in Toccoa, Georgia, 32 years old, Shannon Mayfield.
Shannon Mayfield.
Bradley, West
Mayfield.
Virginia, July the 6th, 36 years old, Matthew Jones.
Matthew Jones.
July the 6th, in Beeville, Texas, Jerry
Matthew Jones.
Esparza.
Jerry Esponza.
Jerry
Jerry
Esponza.
Jerry Esponza.
Jerry Esponza.
I think it's Esparza.
Esponza.
Esparza.
I think that's it. In Detroit, Michigan, on July the 6th, 19 years old, Imani Davis.
Imani
Imani
Davis.
Davis.
Imani Davis.
July the 7th, in McLean, Virginia, 26 years old, Jasper Lynch.
Jasper
Lynch.
Los Angeles, California, July the 7th, 36 years old, Felipe Guerrero.
Felipe
Guerrero.
Felipe
July the
Guerrero.
In Marietta, Georgia, 26 years old, Rafael Ramirez.
Raphael Ramirez.
Ramirez.
In Fargo, North Dakota,
Rafael
July the
Ramirez.
8th, unarmed. They don't always tell us that. He was Native American, Shane Netterville.
Shane Netherville.
Shane Netherville.
Houston, Texas, on July the 8th, 47 years old, Roderick Brooks.
Roderick
Roderick Brooks.
July the 9th, in Long Beach, California, 42 years old, Jamie Rodriguez.
Jamie
Rodriguez.
Rodriguez.
July the 9th, in Colorado Springs, Colorado, it was a man, we don't know his age, and he has not yet been identified.
Cell
Cell
block.
block. Ashe.
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 On July the 9th, in New York, 60 years old, Raul Hardy.
Raul
Hardy.
Ooh, Hardy.
Again, in New York, they don't give the age, Malik Williams.
Malik Williams.
Malik Williams.
July the 10th, in Fossmore, Illinois, 64 years old, Madeline Miller.
Madeline
Miller.
Madeline Miller.
And the last person whose life was stolen that we'll be upholding this evening was from Mason, Ohio. On July the 11th, the police stole his life, 27 years old, Thomas Cromwell.
Thomas
Cromwell.
Thomas Cromwell.
Thanks, everybody, for helping to uplift these names. Mike check.
Mike check.
Mike check.
Mic check. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for keeping it going, even when they keep cutting me off numerous times. So as you see, nothing will stop us from holding folks accountable, holding ourselves accountable, and just the love that we have for our community, our loved ones, our family members. So I just want to thank each and every last one of you guys. As I try to heal up from my illness right now, and I'm hoping the same as Nicole, because I know she's in pain right now, and anybody that's going through anything right now. And I'm giving a big shout out to my sister Kia. Haven't seen you in a minute. It's always a pleasure to see you, my beautiful sister. So we just trying to hold Marilyn Mosley accountable, or whoever gets in office. You know, election time is on the route, so we really have to be careful on who we put in office. And whoever is in office, we're going to hold them accountable. It doesn't matter who they put in office. We are going to hold them accountable. I don't
Yes.
care. I mean, that's just my view. It doesn't matter who they put in office at this current time, but whoever they do place in office, whoever has that seat, and I don't care if it's Marilyn Mosley again, we're gonna hold her accountable. We demand answers,
Yeah.
Marilyn Mosley. Nicole demands answers. Kid demands answers. My sister demands answers. My sister Angela. She still does not have her brother Timothy Flemings autopsy. We're talking a year plus later, and those children are still, those beautiful children are still in the house where their father got murdered. That is beyond mind blowing. And as they sleep good at night, our families can't. Our families cannot. You know, it's just really sad. But guess what? You guys are about to start losing sleep because we're holding you accountable. We're holding you accountable. We demand answers. We have 2 actions planned. One is on Monday, and I will let you know on Tuesday where the other action is going to be for next West Wednesday. So again, remember, live to love to live. I love you all, and hold those victims that we just said. Hold those. They're more than hashtags and body bags. They're more than being pictures and buttons and on T-shirts. You know, their lives matter. It may not matter to the ones that murdered them, but it matters to us. And it doesn't matter if it's community violence, police brutality, it's still the highway of hell. Nobody family member to be brutally murdered. No one. You know, just remember, live to love to live. And thank you all for tuning in. And we will see you guys on Monday on Kentmore and Kelsway Road. Please, if you can, please come out to support. Definitely gonna need y'all. 7 p.m. 7 p.m. He was murdered. That's the time they start killing him, and that's the time we're gonna be. So just keep my family, prayer, my brother, children, and thoughts. Just keep us all in thoughts. And the same way we brought you guys with the video, and it's sad we play that video week after week. We done played it now for a long time, and guess what? Ruiz is still currently working. He's still working. Why is that? We need to hold him accountable now. The time's now. Mic check. So Black for
Mic
Killer.
check.
Mic check.
Mike check.
And Mr. West begging for his life, and Mr. Salam begging for his child to be excluded and comforted from what was taking place. Not for himself, but for his 3-year-old child.
Case number 4, Adina Britt and family, September 10th, 2015.
My name is Adina Britt, and I wanted to submit a 30-second testimonial that Jorge Omar Bernardez Ruiz is one of the 11 terrorists that came into my house performing a home invasion in September 2015, terrorizing my entire family and even holding my 12-year-old son at gunpoint. He needs to be stopped.
Case number 5, unidentified arrestee, assaulted in 2016.
I suggest you back the fuck up.
No, why you talking to me? Why would you
Again, this video did not surface until the summer of 2020. Case 6, Thomas McCullough, May 2016 and February 2017.
I heard my front door coming off the hinges like it exploded.
Thomas McCullough says it happened twice. In May 2016 and February 2017, Baltimore City Police burst through his green front door and raided his Pimlico home.
They said, police. They come up, shotguns, guns.
He says officers ransacked the place, looking for drugs, money, and weapons. He took pictures of the damage he says they left behind.
Tell us where the drugs are, the scales, the guns, and the large amounts of money.
Nothing was found. Now he's suing police, claiming officers, including a former member of the Gun Trace Task Force, frightened him, his wife, and father-in-law when the officers conducted what his suit calls an illegal search of his home. The owner of the house tells 11 News after the second raid, he had to replace the front door. McCullough and his attorney say they want Baltimore police held accountable.
There is a colossal breach of trust.
And McCullough tells us following both raids, no one was arrested or charged.
This all begs the question, When will Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby see the prosecution of Bernardez Ruiz as warranted?
They were the stopping officers in these so-called jump out cars, unmarked and so forth, that stopped both the West vehicle and the Salam vehicle without probable cause. And these officers are the ones that also were joined by others, but they are the ones who initiated the stops, pulled both men out of the vehicles, and commenced the vicious activity that was thrust upon them.
And the officer Ruiz that started this attack is still working and working with promotions. He is now sergeant. But the fact that this repeat violent offender had a history leading up to my brother. There was Darrell Harris, there was James Green, Joseph Green, Abdul Salam, and my sister Dina and her family. No one family deserves to be brutally murdered or brutalized by this repeat violent offender Ruiz. It is time we take action. The time is now.
Baltimore police officer Jorge Bernardez Ruiz is a repeat violent offender. Based on these accounts, in accordance with the law, we, the West Coalition, call for him to be fired, prosecuted, and incarcerated.
We're more than hashtags and body bags. We're more than being 6 feet in the dirt and pictures and buttons on t-shirts. Our lives matter.
For the safety of our city, the prevention of further harm, and the justice for these families, we see no other option.
And again, I'll say, the time is now.